Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Jans. I'm the program supervisor for Bishop Tobin's Keep the Heat On Fund. We're entering our 15th year this year, and we're here to kick off our program this morning. We've got some very exciting news. We're working with the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence and their member agencies. We have some check presentations, as well as we're also announcing an expedited process for those who are with the member agencies seeking heating assistance. Again, this is a heating assistance program of last resort. We've helped thousands over the years, and here to kick off is the Bishop of Providence, Bishop Thomas Tobin.
Well, Jim, thank you very, very much, and good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming out this morning for the kickoff of our 15th annual Keep the Heat On program. We're so very grateful for your presence today, and the Keep the Heat On program has become, of course, very important and valuable program and resource for our church and really for the whole community in our region of New England. Throughout its first 14 years, Keep the Heat On has provided more than $3.1 million of heating assistance to over 14,000 households, individuals, and families. So it really has made a significant difference and impact in our community. And we're very grateful for all the generous donors who have made this program possible. So many individuals who have contributed, our parishes, our schools, companies, organizations throughout the state. We're so very grateful for their generosity and thoughtfulness that have made this program possible and so successful. Once again, this year, the Diocese of Providence is contributing $25,000 directly to this campaign. Money that comes from our Catholic Charity Appeal campaign every year. So very directly, what we contribute to the Catholic Charity Appeal comes to Keep the Heat On program that goes very directly to assist individuals and families throughout our region so that they have heating assistance during the winter. The very special beneficiary this year of our Keep the Heat On program is the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They've really become partners with the diocese in responding to this terrible plague of violence in our community, in our society. The coalition does such great work in assisting victims of violence and in educating the community about how widespread the problem is and ways that we can respond. Well, this year the diocese is granting checks of $1,500 to 5 of the membership organizations in the coalition, a total of $7,500 to the coalition. And through the agencies then, they will help their clients receive heating assistance during the winter to come. This week, of course, we're celebrating the great feast of Thanksgiving, a time when we pause to give thanks and praise to God for all the gifts and blessings that He gives to us that sometimes perhaps we forget about and take for granted. But one of the ways that we show our gratitude as we celebrate Thanksgiving is to give thanks and praise to God, but to help other people in need as well. By sharing the gifts we have with other people, we show the Lord that we are very grateful for the gifts that we ourselves have received. All the gifts we receive are material and spiritual gifts. They're not just for us. They're meant to be shared and given to others as well. And certainly Keep the Heat On program is one sign of our concern for other people and another sign of our gratitude to God for His goodness in our lives as well. And it's also a great work of our diocesan church. We're very, very proud of Keep the Heat program and what it's done throughout its first 14 years. Again, thanks to all who have supported it in our church and in our community. Your generosity, dear friends, has really made a difference in keeping homes warm and in lifting the spirits of our neighbors. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
At this time, I'd like to ask Tanya Harris, the Executive Director of the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence, to say a few words.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Tanya Harris, and I am the Executive Director for the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence. We thank you all for being here with us today. In particular, thank you to our member agencies and our Executive Directors and our representatives from each of our agencies, and of course the Rickadevi staff as well. We're so thankful to Keep the Heat On for annually providing essential heating assistance to Rhode Islanders who have sometimes may have no other way of providing heat during the coldest winter months. It truly warms our hearts and souls. Thank you. The Rickadevi believes that in order to end domestic violence, we must foster a beloved community where tolerance, respect, and love for one's fellow human being is the base to create a community where all are embraced and all are able to thrive. Every year, agencies in our network serve thousands of individuals who are affected by domestic violence, particularly those in marginalized communities. The Rickadevi and its member agencies affirm that all people have the right to live their lives free from fear and violence, including the most oppressed and vulnerable, members of the LGBT community, people of color, immigrants, because, as the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, whatever affects one directly affects all of us indirectly. We work toward a world of inclusion, free from violence in all of its forms. This heating system will help survivors that our advocates work with every day, assist them in ensuring that these survivors will have a community where they can have heat and hope and warmth through the most difficult days and times over the next several months. This year, we're grateful the program has chosen to provide assistance to each of our member agencies. We are filled with gratitude that this donation also extends outside of the shelters. And also now survivors are able to seek assistance through heating assistance outside of the normal chain. Financial issues are a major barrier for survivors, a major barrier. Many survivors stay in abusive relationships as they're worried about covering basic needs like utilities in their homes over the winter months. It's not uncommon for abusers to use accumulate debt as a way of keeping survivors in the abusive relationship and also as a way from keeping them apart from having an independent life outside of abuse. This heating assistance support will aid some of the most poverty-stricken and violence-affected families and children in our state, and waiving requirements will ensure that they're able to access this life-saving resource quickly and safely. On behalf of the coalition, our member agencies, we thank the Diocese of Providence, the Catholic Charities Fund, and all those individuals who help to donate in order to keep the heat on at homes that are affected by domestic violence. We thank you so much.
So what we'll do at this time is we have a check presentations for each of the member agencies. I'll ask a representative from each agency or the executive director, if they're here, to come forward at this time. So, Bishop. First, the Sojourner House. There's some Sojourner.
You waited up.
I am.
There we go. For Sojourner House. Okay, we have another one for
Blackstone Valley Advocacy Center.
Thank you.
Domestic Violence Resource Center.
You can take these big checks with you, by the way. I don't know what you're doing with them.
Is this Fluffy Chase?
Good. The little ones even more. Very good. Thank you.
And Women's Resource Center.
This would be helpful for you. Thank you.
That will conclude the event at this time. Thank you all for coming.
Okay. You guys go first. I'll be over here once you're all set.